Hey guys, Buffaque here again, coming to you tonight with a video on the Colt 1908 Vest Pocket Hammerless 25 ACP. If I sound like I'm trying to keep my voice down a little bit, that's because it's currently about 12:30 at night, and I had intended on doing this video tomorrow morning, but kind of anxious to get it done because I love the firearm featured in this video. And so I wanted to go ahead and do it tonight, but everyone else in the house is asleep, so I'm trying to keep my voice down so I don't wake everyone up. This handgun is, as far as its history goes, is probably the most interesting weapon I have in my collection, as well as my entire family's collection. This is a handgun that has been carried over 4 decades worth of people in my family. My great-grandfather purchased this many years ago, and after he passed, my grandfather came into possession of it, and you know, so on and so forth, and it's kind of worked its way down, you know, in the family. And so this is really an interesting firearm to me, just for the sake of how old it is, how long it's been in the family, and you know, considering how old it is, it's still in excellent condition, really good condition. One of the neat things that Colt offers is you can go on their website and they have a serial number lookup. So basically, if you own any kind of Colt firearm, old or new, you can go to their website, punch in your serial number, and see exactly when the firearm was built. So, of course, not long ago I entered the serial number into the lookup, and lo and behold, found out that this firearm was assembled in 1921. To me, that's really cool to know that I have, for one, you know, a piece of history, certainly an antique, but also a fully functioning antique. This gun has always been kept in good condition. It's been taken care of well, but it's not a pristine firearm in that if a collector were to look at it, you know, they're going to be able to tell right away that it's been carried, it's been used. It's not in new condition, as you can tell. Basically, all of the bluing has been worn off. When my great-grandfather purchased this, at the time he was a professional carpenter. Again, this is many years ago, but he basically always had this firearm with him, usually in his back hip pocket, and so, of course, over the years, the bluing pretty much got worn off on it. Other than the bluing, it is in virtually perfect condition. When I first, the first time I held this firearm, I remember thinking, you know, for something so small, and it is incredibly small, you can see kind of for scale, for comparison, you know, some 25 auto rounds above it here. For something so small, I thought it's really quite heavy. That was because shortly before I picked up this handgun, I had handled a Keltec 32, which weighs about as much as a Pringles potato chip. So, of course, this, you know, almost 100-year-old all-steel firearm felt a lot heavier because it is. This was built in 1921, long before polymer had been really discovered. the grips on it are some kind of a I'm not sure if they're plastic or a Bakelite material, or they don't seem to be any kind of rubber. But other than that, this is a completely steel firearm. I will say that this is not something that my grandfather, myself, any of us necessarily carry for self-defense. Although we have in the past, we have carried it, but like I was just saying, we now live in the age of the wonderful lightweight, polymer wonder pistols, and so when you can have something that's virtually just as small as this, but maybe a third of the weight, also in a larger caliber, it really, it just does make more sense to carry the bigger caliber. You're really not giving up anything. You're still within a firearm that's very small and compact, can conceal easily, and is often lighter weight, so why not? But anyway, I just thought this was a really interesting firearm to show to you guys tonight. Move it around a little bit here. Like I said, it's been in the family a long time. 96 years old this year. Assembled in 1921. The design was patented in the year 1908. So the design goes back, 109? Yeah, 109 years this year. This is filmed in 2017. So, it's really, to me, quite impressive how little, in some ways, things like handguns have evolved over the last 100 years. As far as the main outline of the firearm, if you just saw a real quick picture of this, you may think, yeah, this is a firearm that was maybe cranked out 10, 20 years ago. Who knows? I will say, as soon as you pick one of these up, you quickly realize this is not something from last year. This was back when they made things the right way, I guess you could say. Solid steel. There's no mistaking what you're holding. This weapon, of course, has been safety checked. There we are. Anyway, just a really beautiful firearm, in my opinion. The curves of this firearm are they're just sexy, in my opinion. They really are. Everything is smoothed off, very comfortable, virtually snag-free on every edge of this firearm. This thing was made to be carried literally in a vest pocket. It's in the name. If you go to Colt's website, it's the 1908 Colt vest pocket Hammerless. I've noticed that with these little 25 ACPs, of which I have several, I think this is probably maybe the fourth or fifth one in the collection now. What you do gain in size, concealability, you do almost always sacrifice weight. A lot of these old 25s are fairly heavy, especially compared, like I said, compared to these little polymer pistols, the Keltecs, the Rugers. I believe Taurus makes one. Let's see who else. You're aware of the ones I'm talking about. So I think that's part of the reason why a lot of people probably eventually gravitated away from carrying something like this when they can carry something that's that much lighter. And I completely understand that, and I do the same thing myself, but guns like this just have a really special place in my heart. I guess it's just because you have something, you really, man, that is such a tiny gun. It's awesome. But you know you have something of historical significance, and you know, the fact that it's fully functioning, you know, hey, you know, that's awesome. Just a really neat firearm. So at any rate, kind of a neat little pistol there. And then here, kind of with this video, I don't often show any of my traditional knives, any of the regular, you know, collector's knives or folding knives I have, and I don't have that many, to be honest, but this is one I thought I would feature in a video. This is a traditional folder case. I recently inherited this. I can't tell you what style of case this is. I'm sure a lot of you guys who are collectors could tell you right off, oh, it's a trapper lock, or oh, it's, you know, I know Case has, it seems like hundreds of different styles, and I'll confess I don't really know which one this is. Like I said, I just recently inherited it, but I thought it was kind of interesting because this is a limited collector's edition, and it's the CSX, I don't know if you can see that, it's the CSX model. I've looked around online for the last few hours looking to see if this particular knife has made any kind of an impression online, and I can't find one anywhere. Now, maybe I'm not digging deep enough, but I haven't seen anyone post a picture of one of these yet. This was given to my great uncle, who worked for CSX for many years, retired, and a couple years after he retired, he was invited to a reception where they gave him this knife at the end of the reception, you know, as a thank you. And so the knife's been passed down to me, and definitely a neat thing in the collection. Comes in a nice, move these little itty bitty rounds out of here. Comes in a nice metal case. Case. Anyway, just kind of a nice little elegant knife. If any of you guys are familiar with what type what type of model this is, like I said, you know, I don't know if this is the trapper lock or I'll confess the trapper lock and the toothpick are about the only two that I'm really familiar with. I don't really collect case knives, but you know, leave a comment below telling me what exactly this is. I want to be as thorough as I can in the future, but I'll confess I just did not do much research on this one before showing it in the video. I just thought it was kind of a neat knife, you know. It seems like anything you find that is related to railroad or anything, you know, of that kind of era carries with it kind of a neat ambiance of you know, the days of steel, you know, when things were built the right way or they weren't built at all, you know. And so just thought it was kind of a neat knife to feature in the video here. Commemorative railroad knife to go with a old 1920s firearm. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Looking to get a few more videos out in the next few days before work picks back up. Hopefully I'll be able to do that. Let me know what you guys think. Like I've said before, if you enjoyed the video, think about subscribing. Still relatively new here to YouTube, but trying to put out just some simple videos that maybe you guys can enjoy. Nothing flashy, just, you know, what you see is what you get. So anyway, hope you guys enjoyed. See you next time.